Well, the ball has been flying out of Citizens Bank Park during this series. We had a pitcher's duel in game number 1, but then the offense broke out. Evan Gattis and Dan Uggla each hit 2 home runs, and the emotions went back and forth. This was 3 consecutive homers for the Atlanta Braves, but then Dominic Brown gave the Phillies the lead in the bottom of the 8th inning by 1. All looked okay until we went to the top of the 9th inning. Jake Diekman instead of Jonathan Papelbon. This slider is still out over the plate, and it was out of the yard. It was a grand slam by Uggla, and the Braves took game 1. Game 2, this was truly a pitcher's duel. Julio Teheran, the 23-year-old right-hander, and Cliff Lee, the veteran left-hander, they were dazzling. Lee wound up striking out 13. Teheran didn't utilize the strikeout the same way Cliff Lee did, but he did mix his fastball. 87, 88, 92, 91. But these guys were locked in. The only run, this home run right here by Evan Gattis, just into the flower bed. And then Teheran, who allowed just 1 hit in the 4th inning and then a couple hits later on, was able to pitch his first shutout of his big league career as he gets Chase Utley to ground out to wrap up game number 2. So now we get set for game number 3 of this series, a business person special, the first of the year here at Citizens Bank Park. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Jamie Moyer, who loves a good pitcher's duel, but would love to see the Phils offense break out today the way the Braves offense has really broken out the first couple weeks of the season.
Yeah, this series has been dominated by the home run. And unfortunately, the Atlanta Braves have been on the top end of those home runs. And it's all about making pitches from the pitcher standpoint. But from the offensive standpoint, it's all about taking advantage of mistakes. And that's exactly what the Braves have been able to do. As you're seeing here with these replays, all of these home runs were all mistake pitches that were hugely taken advantage of by the Atlanta Braves offense. And even in last night's game with Cliff Lee pitching so well, he got into a situation, an 0-2 count, tried to throw a ball up and away to Evan Gattis, and he didn't make his pitch. He left it down and in on the plate, and Evan Gattis hit a solo home run, which was the difference in the game.
Well, now for the Atlanta Braves, they seem to live and die with the long ball.
They do. As you see, they're ranked second in the major leagues this year with 21 home runs. They've out-homered their opponents 21-8 this year. And last year, through 14 games, they hit 25 home runs. They're off to that same torrid start. But it seems like with the Braves, it's either all or nothing. Home runs or striking out, but right now they're doing it consistently and winning baseball games.
Well, we'll see if A.J. Burnett can quiet the Braves' offense here this afternoon as the Phils try to salvage this homestand. Alex Wood, the young left-hander on the mound for the Braves, making his 4th start of the season. And, of course, for A.J. Burnett, he is also making his 4th start, trying to keep the walks down here at Citizens Bank Park. Well, as we mentioned, it's the first business person special of the year. Little cool, bright, sunshiny afternoon. It is a good day to be at the yard. The Braves and the Phils in the first pitch coming up next. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phillies. By Toyota. Toyota's #1 for everyone sales event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Citizens Bank, introducing One Deposit Checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. homestand for the Phils. Phillies are about to take the field as A.J. Burnett is going to make his second start here at Citizens Bank Park. The Fanatic trying to get everybody ready for the Phils to enter the playing field on a bright, sunshiny afternoon. Kind of cool here again this afternoon, as everybody knows. I think he would like the team to come out right now. He's trying to get the crowd up over in left field. And they're just waiting for A.J. Burnett to give the signal. And there's A.J. wandering around the dugout, getting ready to put his hat on, grab his glove, and head out toward the field. And there he is, waiting. Jamie, does the Fanatic waiting, does it ever bother you? Do you ever try to speed it up for him?
No, I've never really noticed where the Fanatic was at this point in time before the game.
Well, here they come. Let's take a look at the Braves starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in right field, Jason Hayward. B.J. Upton, the center fielder, bats second. Freddie Freeman hits third, followed by Justin Upton and Chris Johnson. Dan Uggla, the second baseman, bats sixth. Andrelton Simmons hits seventh. Gerald Laird does the catching today for the Braves. He'll bat eighth, and batting ninth and pitching is Alex Wood. And they'll face Phillies right-hander A.J. Burnett. Now, you can look at his numbers, and you realize he's walked too many, 14 walks in 16 innings. But the bigger storyline right now, Jamie, is that A.J. Burnett is pitching with a hernia issue that he's going to have to deal with the rest of this year.
Yeah, he is going to have to deal with this, and today's start will be very interesting just to see how he gets through this, and hopefully he doesn't have any setbacks during this outing. But AJ's a warrior, and I commend him for going out here on the mound today. But as you said, Tom, the walks have plagued AJ a little bit this year so far, and I think if he can cut those walks down and really rely on the ground ball, I think it can really aid in how effective he can be.
Ryan Sandberg was saying today before the ball game that he's kind of adjusted his stride a little bit. How much of an effect will that have, do you think?
I don't think it'll have a big effect. I think as a pitcher, sometimes you do fool around with your stride and your mechanics, and I'm sure he's pitched that way before. Actually, I think Rhino even alluded that, previously AJ has mentioned that he has fooled around with his stride because sometimes his stride gets too long.
Well, there's him stretching before he went into the bullpen. Now, this is not unorthodox. I mean, there's a lot of stretching going on, but he may have to do a little bit more to get his legs stretched out.
Under these circumstances, I think AJ probably spent a little more time in the training room pregame, getting loose and getting what he needed in the training room, and making sure his body is loose and ready to go. So we'll see what happens here.
Well, he's waiting for Jason Hayward to step to the plate as we begin the final game of this three-game series and this homestand. The Phillies lost the first three, won the next three, and have lost the last two. Braves are in first place in the National League East at 10-4. And Jason Hayward will lead it off. Hayward 1 for 8 so far in the series. And he has 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, Jason's gotten off to a little bit of a slow start here, I think, in this leadoff spot.
Bouncer toward first, and John Mayberry will take it to the bag. All right, let's take a look at our Nissan keys to this afternoon's ball game.
Well, I think it's really important for the Phillies to keep the ball in the ballpark. That's been the story of this series, and getting back to patient hitting and trying to bunch their hits together and put some crooked numbers on the board.
Yeah, the Phillies offense erupted in the 8th inning in game 1 of this series, but yesterday did not manage a run against Julio Teheran, and it was really because of Teheran. Ryan Sandberg said he was really impressed, and so were the players, with how well Teheran mixed his fastball and the speeds of his fastball.
He did, and early in the game he predominantly used fastball changeup, which surprised me a little bit, because his out pitch really is his slider, and he kind of went away from that. And then as he got into the game, he used his curveball and slider a little bit more. But as we got deeper in the game, started to change speeds with his fastball, and I think it really kept the Phillies hitters off balance.
2-0 pitch to Upton, ground ball foul, and it's 2-1. B.J. Upton hitting 185. He's 1 for 7 in the series. He'll be followed by Freddie Freeman and Justin Upton. Not too much has changed as far as the Braves lineup goes, except Evan Gattis is not in there. There's a ground ball to shortstop. Jimmy Rollins is there. And there are 2 outs. So 2 ground balls for A.J. Burnett with the first 2 hitters of the day.
Well, And actually, now that I think about it, this hernia thing could really maybe slow AJ down a little bit and get him back into, I think, the tempo that he was looking for earlier in the season. So, we'll have to see how this plays out today, but he's getting off to a really nice start here with 2 ground balls, as you mentioned, Tom.
Freddie Freeman, .392 hitter with 4 home runs and 10 RBIs. And he takes low, 1 ball, no strikes. Freeman is 1 for 8 in the series so far. Most of the damage in the series has been done by Evan Gattis, Dan Uggla, and Andrelton Simmons. The fact that the top of the order for the Braves has been somewhat quiet offensively, you would think is a good sign for the Phillies pitchers.
I agree, Tom. I was just thinking that when you were talking about it. The first night the Phillies played 2, 3, and 4 for Atlanta was 0 for 11 with 4 runs scored.
You take that.
I would take that on paper any day. But if you watch the game, you realize that they walked a few times, and they walked at the appropriate time when Uggla and Simmons and Gattis were at the plate, and those home runs were big home runs for the Atlanta Braves.
There is Cliff, who had the 13 strikeouts last night. 3-0 pitch to Freeman. And that's just a little high, ball 4. So the first walk of the day. And that brings Justin Upton to the plate. Because A.J. Burnett has been in the National League East for a lot of his career, mostly with the Florida Marlins, he has faced the Braves an awful lot. In fact, he's 5-12 with an ERA of 4.14 against Atlanta. No balls and 1 strike. He had 115 in the 3rd innings. He's allowed 112 hits and 56 walks.
And I'm curious to find out too, with AJ's hernia being public knowledge, it'd be interesting to see if teams start to try to bunt to get him to move off the mound a little bit. You'd think that at least some teams would try that. I don't know if the Braves really, if you look at their lineup, you may have a B.J. Upton that has those abilities to do that, or Simmons at shortstop might be able to do that, but most of the other guys, or maybe even a Dan Uggla.
Little high, 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, I know you pitched with a sports hernia, a little different than what AJ has. I shouldn't say you pitched.
I pitched and
it led to a sports hernia.
Exactly, and I couldn't pitch with it, and it's very, very painful. Now that sports hernia is nothing probably near to what AJ's dealing with here, but it is an injury, and injuries are very unfortunate in the game.
Runner goes, pitch is lifted toward right. Marlon Byrd comes running in, and he makes the catch. Side is retired. So a 13 pitch first inning for A.J. Burnett. He leaves 1. We go to the bottom of the 1st. The Braves nothing, and the Phillies coming up. today because the left-hander's on the mound for the Atlanta Braves. So let's take a look at it. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in center field, Ben Revere. Jimmy Rollins, the shortstop, bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Marlon Byrd and John Mayberry. Dominic Brown's in left field. He'll hit sixth. Will Nieves, who had a nice day on Sunday for the Phillies, he'll hit seventh. Jason Nick starts at third base. He'll bat eighth. And batting ninth at pitching is A.J. Burnett. And they'll face 23-year-old left-hander Alex Wood, who's out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and the University of Georgia. He's off to a nice start. 17 strikeouts and 19 innings of work. Got a little bit of a funky delivery as he comes to the plate, Jamie.
He's got a little violence in his delivery, which I think can add, add to what he does and add to his repertoire. It looks like he hides the ball pretty well. He's got a power fastball to 89 to 96, which you don't see a whole lot of left-handed starting pitchers throwing quite that hard. A spiked curveball and a very good changeup, which is they're saying is his best pitch. It's his second-round pick in 2012. And you're right, Tom. He's got himself off to a really good start here.
Well, it's his 35th appearance overall in the big leagues, and he will face Ben Revere. Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley. Revere is 0 for 4 in this series, and 0 for his last 12. Been battling some sore ribs, so he missed a few days. Chris Johnson, the third baseman, in on the grass. And the first pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Revere with 7 runs scored. Got off to a pretty good start the first few days of the season, but the sore ribs cost him some games over the weekend. And still was bothering him somewhat on Monday. He takes outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Such an important piece of the puzzle is Ben Revere, or whoever it is they have leading off for the Phillies. He shoots that one toward the hole, and the Phillies have a base runner to start the bottom of the first. Saw the effect of what Tony Gwynn was doing over the weekend against the Marlins, getting on base, how effective that was. So now Revere gets on to start this first inning for the Phillies.
And this is what the Phillies have been lacking here in the last 2 games, is getting that leadoff guy on base. So it's nice to see Ben get this line moving in a forward direction, and maybe put a little pressure here on Alex Wood here in the first inning, and hopefully Jimmy can make some contact and get a first and third situation or a stolen base right here.
Well, Rollins takes low and in, 1 ball and no strikes. Rollins is 0 for 7 lifetime against Alex Wood. Off the hands, caught by Freddie Freeman, and that's a double play. Well, Ben Revere, once he put his secondary lead into play, there was nothing he could really do, as Freeman went high in the air to reel that one in. It wasn't all that hard.
It wasn't. Looked like almost like Jimmy hit the ball off the end of the bat. Freddie with his height. He's got some hops right there. Look at that. Woo. Good effort by Freddie right there, and you're right. Ben was in no man's land. There's no way he's going to get back to that bat.
Yeah, they teach the base runner to freeze on any kind of line drive. Now, he didn't freeze, but still, if he would have froze where he was, there's no way he would have gotten back to the first base bag. So now 2 outs. Here's Chase Utley. Utley's 2 for 9 in the series against the Braves, and he takes a strike. Chase overall hitting .449 with 3 home runs and 10 runs batted in. Oh, and 2 to Chase. Alex Wood spent parts of 2 seasons in the minor leagues with the Atlanta Braves. He made 24 minor league starts in those 2 years after he was selected out of the University of Georgia. And Utley rips one toward right, and Jason Hayward's going to play it on one hop. So Chase, who had his 11-game, or I should say, his 11-game hitting streak come to a close yesterday, starts another one. Here's this delivery we're talking about with Alex Wood. That's fine. And then right there, I think that's where it gets a little quirky.
Yeah, he kind of sits back on that back leg, and it really allows him to get his arm circle created and create that circle behind him, and hides the ball pretty well. And all of a sudden, here it's on you anywhere from 90 to 96.
That's always the key for a pitcher, is to have a little deception.
It's a little herky-jerky, as we might say.
Marlon Byrd takes strike one. Marlon 2 for 7 in the series. 3 for 7 lifetime against Alex Wood. Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Joanne Garman of Levittown, Pennsylvania. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, and Joanne will win $200. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
I'm impressed right here with Alex Wood, just how he's gotten off to the start with using his fastball and just moving it around the strike zone.
How much of that is the game plan that, let's say, Tehran had last night? Mixing speeds, moving around. I know it's righty compared to lefty.
Yeah, but I think Tehran has a little more movement than Alex Wood, but Alex, he uses 3 pitches, so he's got to be a little more efficient with his pitches because he only has 3 pitches. There you see that it's just the second breaking ball he's thrown, and that's all the Phillies have seen so far in 15 pitches. They've seen 13 fastballs and 2 breaking balls. So he has to figure out a way to utilize that fastball, and at some point in this game he's going to have to figure out how to get some command of that curveball and implement his changeup, which is his best pitch, which we just saw right there.
And Marlon Byrd is down on strikes, and the side is retired. No runs, 2 hits, 1 man left for the Phillies. End of 1. It's the Braves nothing and the Phillies nothing. Against the New York Mets. That first day is a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night, and it's also Philadelphia Science Festival night presented by Dow here at Citizens Bank Park. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Top of the second, scoreless game. Chris Johnson, Dan Uggla, Andrelton Simmons to start things off for the Atlanta Braves. Johnson had 3 hits in last night's ball game. Yeah, the first pitch to him in this at bat on the inside corner. It's 0-1.
And he did it very quietly. Actually, I thought he threw out every at bat. Was a very good at bat. Stayed inside the ball and more or less did what he wanted to do.
Everything seemed to be from second base over to the right side. You know, the bloop to right center, and then a couple balls that he shot through the right side.
And by staying inside the ball, you have a great ability to be able to do that on a consistent basis.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball to shortstop. Rollins to his right. One away. Dan Uggla's coming up. Let's check in with Murph. Murph?
All right, thank you very much, T-Mac. And as you know, it is a special day at the ballpark. Let me introduce Marianne Moyer, who is the manager of marketing initiatives here at the ballpark. It is Red Goes Green Day. What does that mean, Marianne? What's happening today?
Yes, we're celebrating Earth Day a couple days early here for our first ever Citizens Bank Red Goes Green Day. So when fans come into the ballpark, they'll be treated to all kinds of things. We have 20 vendors at the entrance gates, so they're teaching fans how they can make their daily lives a little bit greener, and also some things that we're doing here at Citizens Bank Park in terms of sustainability.
And this is a program, Tom, as you know, that carries on throughout the season for us. Every home run, a tree is planted. That's part of the initiative. And there's more about trees going on. Tell the folks how they can get involved.
Yes, earlier today we announced the third year for the Home Runs for Trees program. And also just today we launched a tree giveaway program, which we've done in the past couple years. So fans can go to phillies.com/redgoesgreen and sign up for a free tree.
They get a free tree if they do that.
A free tree. We have 250 to give away, so sign up starting now.
All right, Tom. Well, as you know, I'll do anything for good television. And Marianne has brought us, Janine right here has some shots of wheatgrass. Can you explain, thank you, Janine, what this is all about and what we're about to do?
Sure. We recognize that the players have been doing wheatgrass shots for the past couple years. So we thought, why not grow it ourselves here? A little bit red goes greenish, so we started growing it in the clubhouse. So you'll see in the clubhouse there's shelves of it growing, and you literally just cut off the grass, put it in the blender, and here we have shots. And I'm told that this is a 2-ounce shot, which equals 5 pounds of vegetables.
All right, let's do it. Here we go.
5 pounds of vegetables.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you for that.
Murph,
Not so bad. Thank you.
Murph, you got to work on your facial expressions, buddy.
It does kind of taste like I just mowed my lawn and swallowed half of it. But other than that, it must be good for me, right? So, but I feel stronger already. Thank you, Marianne. And good luck with the program. Tom, back to you. I'm going to go brush my teeth.
All right. Thanks, Murph. We appreciate that. It's almost as if he was a child taking medicine. Dan Uggla fights off the 3-2 pitch, so it remains full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jamie, did you ever have any wheatgrass when you were down in the clubhouse?
No, it wasn't being grown when I was here.
Would you? You're a healthy guy. Would you have had that?
No. I don't think so. I'm
not that healthy.
Quite that far yet.
Here comes the 3-2 again to Uggla. Ground ball over the mound. Utley behind the bag is there and in time. 4 ground outs. And with 2 away, Andrelton Simmons will come up. Well, some of the things that Marianne was talking about are around the ballpark here today. Now, usually you'll see the recycling containers that are popping all over the place. There's Cody Ashe and David Montgomery. And there's the tree that they were talking about. Now, it's one of Cody's home runs. And planting a tree as part of Plant 1 Million. And we've talked about that the last several years. Usually those trees are being planted all around the city in certain spots, but that one especially done here at the ballpark. As Simmons takes outside, it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Cody didn't have his gardening gloves on or his boots.
If he was progressing to do a little bit more work, there would have been blisters involved. So that looked like it was pretty easy lifting, though. Somebody did the heavy lifting for him. Down the right field line, Marlon Byrd has a long run. It's slicing toward the crowd and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Simmons is 2 for 5 lifetime against A.J. Burnett. I have to say that, talking about the Red Goes Green initiatives, the Phillies have done an outstanding job in recent years implementing some of those concepts here at the ballpark, whether it be reusable energy or the recycling program, which is spearheaded by the Phillies ball girls. And they've made it a point each and every game to emphasize how important it is to recycle, whether it be through the canisters you see there or through the groups that are walking through the crowd from time to time, making sure that all of the bottles and cans and everything are separated. Check swing. Did he go? No, says the first base umpire, David Rackley. And it's 2-2.
I think it's really great that the Phillies can be in the forefront with this and really kind of stand up and kind of show the community that the importance of this, and hopefully the community pitches in here at the ballpark, but also in their daily lives.
Yeah, and I think the plant 1 million the trees, it's a great idea. I mean, considering all the home runs that are hit for a major league team during the course of the year. Little roller foul. Simmons will be followed by Gerald Laird, who's in the on-deck circle.
Be kind of cool. Somewhere 20, 30 years, there'd be a forest around the ballpark.
Another one down the right field line, and again it's out of play. Four foul balls off the bat of Andrelton Simmons. Yeah, this will be the 7th pitch of the at bat.
Or even better yet, if they grew the ash and then cultivated it and made bats here. How would that be?
Be a whole nother business venture.
Yeah.
Jim Wolf behind the plate today. So that's why you have your own foundation. You're full of ideas. Outside, 3-2. There's Laird, who's catching today for Evan Gattis. Over toward third, Jason Nix. And another ground ball out. So A.J. Burnett has effectively kept the ball on the ground today. 5 ground outs through the first 2. We go to the bottom of the second. And just recapping Murph's opportunity to try some wheatgrass, and then the reaction. Oh, live
Check out
TV.
that face. I love it.
Takes you inside Carlos Ruiz's charity bowling tournament, plus an exclusive conversation with all-star outfielder Dominic Brown. Catch Phillies Clubhouse presented by Mercedes-Benz today at 4:30. Well, there is John Mayberry, Dominic Brown, and Will Nieves. Those are the scheduled hitters. There's Dominic getting ready to take his hacks. Mayberry will lead things off. Mayberry, a .250 hitter with a home run and 4 RBIs, playing first base today for Ryan Howard with the lefty on the mound. First pitch is on the outside corner. Ooh. Outside part of the plate getting extended a little bit there.
Derwood Merrill, the old umpire, would call those Hall of Fame pitches right there.
They're going to go farther away, and that one is a called strike 3. They didn't actually go farther away. They still went to the outer edge. That's a tough at bat for John Mayberry.
Looks like they just went down.
Yeah, they did. Yep.
If you can stay there all day, it could be a fun day from the pitcher's perspective.
There's Ryan Howard, who is taking today off. Dominic Brown, 1 for 6 so far in the series. It's that one out toward left field. It's pretty well hit. Upton going back, and it's going to stay in the yard, and he makes the grab. About 2 steps from the wall. That ball sliced away from him at the last moment. Yeah, there are 2 outs.
BJ kind of turned that into a tough play. The wind's kind of blowing that out to left, and he got back on it, but I don't think he realized how the ball was going to tail. I think he went more to his right and wasn't expecting that ball to come. He just barely caught that ball.
Well, I think you said too, the wind is sort of taking the ball that way too. Will Nieves, who had a good day on Sunday, had 3 hits in Sunday's ball game. Overall 3 for 8 on the season. This is his 3rd game. And it's 0-1. Big swing, and it remains no balls at 2 strikes. But with the strikeout of Mayberry and the quick swing by Dominic Brown, Alex Wood is about to deliver the 0-2 pitch. He has not delivered a ball in this inning, and he'll get out of the inning without throwing a ball out of the strike zone. He picks up a couple of strikeouts along the way, 3 overall. It's an 8-pitch inning, all strikes for Alex Wood. End of 2. It's the Braves nothing, the Phillies nothing as we go to the 3rd. Time now for the Jeep Stuff the Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com, go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Jamie, here's the question. Which Braves player was named the 1995 World Series MVP?
Wow, it's a little early for this question, Tom, isn't it? I got to get my
going to the
thinking
top of the
hat
third.
on. Wow.
You'll have a few innings to try to figure that one out.
1995.
1995.
Wow.
They had some good ones, particularly back in the 90s. A.J. Burnett will start things off against 8-9-1. It'll be Gerald Laird, Alex Wood, Jason Hayward. Laird 2 for 12 this season. He's playing today for Evan Gattis. Freddie Gonzalez, after last night's ball game, not because Gattis hit the home run to help win the game, not because he hit 2 the night before, the game before, was raving about how Evan Gattis has prepared this year to take over as the primary catcher for the Atlanta Braves. Talked about how much they've thrown at him and how early he has to be here every day as he continues to develop as a major league catcher. And he said he's handled everything fine, and then of course he's stabilized the middle of the order too.
Well, they've thought enough of him to let Brian McCann go. So I think that tells you right there what they think of him, and I think they also believe that he had that work ethic and he just has to put the time in.
Little dribbler foul. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And actually, I think he's at this point showing that maybe they made the right decision. I mean, time will tell, but the start that he's gotten off to here, and it seems like the way he likes to hit here at Citizens Bank Park, he'd be a great mainstay here, huh?
He does look comfortable in 7 short games here. Curveball inside 2-2. Meanwhile, McCann up in New York, if anybody has hit into the shift more than Brian McCann, it's probably only Ryan Howard. They are shifting against him, and he is hitting one line drive after another at the second baseman in shallow right field.
He'll figure that out. He will. He's too good of a hitter, too big of a competitor. It will all even out, I believe.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Gerald Laird. Tapper back to the box. A.J. Burnett retired the side in order in the second, and each time he or any of the Phillies pitchers do that this year, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
The thing I always believed with Brian McCann, why he was such a great hitter, is because he had the ability to hit the ball to left field so well, but he had the great ability to drive the ball to the ballpark to right field and center field.
And even though he got banged up from time to time, he was behind the plate. Obviously, he had a lot of injuries, whether it be hamstrings, whether it be quads, whether it be obliques.
He had a vision problem at one point, too.
That's right. He still was one of the better offensive catchers the National League has had in quite some time. 1 ball and 1 strike to Alex Wood. Wood is 0 for 7 this year and 0 for 28 as a hitter in his big league career. And it's 1-2.
But again, to finish that with the confidence the Braves have in Gattis, I mean, that's pretty special to be able to let somebody like Brian McCann go and give Gattis this opportunity. Good catchers are hard to find.
I was going to say, even if you just put it as an offensive catcher, but a catcher as a whole that you're happy with, it's tough to give him up. Now the 2-2 pitch to Wood. Outside, 3-2. Four full counts for A.J. Burnett. Up the third base line, it is a foul ball. Well, whatever adjustments A.J. Burnett has made, he is getting the ground outs today. In fact, he has 6 outs recorded on the ground so far in the first 2+ innings.
He's really mainly pitching with his sinker, just like Alex Wood, just moving his fastball and sinker around and getting good consistent results.
Now the 3-2 pitch, fouled away. Ball 4. So Wood walks. Second walk issued by Burnett. And turns the lineup over for Jason Hayward. Well, the Phillies will play some interleague games this year against the Toronto Blue Jays. 2 up there, 2 down here. The 2 down here begin Monday, May 5th at 7:05. That's a Hatfield Dollar Dog night. Tuesday the 6th is Teva Respiratory Asthma Awareness Night, a free Phillies cap to all fans. Plan for some interleague play. Get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Jason Hayward is grounded out. He's 0 for 1. Takes inside, 1 ball and no strikes.
The tough part here for AJ was Simmons, Laird, and Wood. He threw 23 pitches to the bottom of the order. And that's what their job is at the bottom of the order, to make a pitcher work. And that's exactly what they made AJ do. So he's gone from minimizing his pitches to extending himself a little bit here.
Breaking ball, 1-2. That'll be out of play over the third base side. Ground ball right side. Mayberry's there. They'll go to second for 1, and that's all they'll get. But they did get the lead runner. 3-6 on the putout. Hayward is safe at first. So Burnett will go back to work against B.J. Upton. And speaking of A.J. Burnett, take a look at our Mazda leaders. Jamie's 55-36 in day baseball. Now, why are some of these guys more successful? I mean, look at all those names there. Hudson has a very high winning percentage. Verlander does. Sabathia does. Herron and Burnett, and I'm saying overall, but Herron and Burnett have better winning percentage in day games than night games.
Yeah, you start pulling stats up like that, and I don't know that there really is an answer. Guys more comfortable, more alert. They like pitching. I really don't know what that answer is, but it's funny how you have stats like that pull out, bring out some positive things in such a strong way.
I was thinking with Burnett, in Burnett's case, without knowing the others that were on that list, that when he was younger, he had such a good fastball. There was life on it. Day games, is it harder to see sometimes for hitters?
It might be. The look in the ballpark, but you'd think with the backdrops or the hitting, the batter's eyes that are in the ballparks, it wouldn't be that difficult.
I know some pitchers prefer day games to night games, but I would think most prefer night games because they're such creatures of habit. I mean, did you have any preference?
I'd prefer the night game over the day game. And you're right, it is that habit you get into, the schedule.
The line drive, base hit into left center field. Dominic Brown will cut it off, but Hayward's on his way to third. The throw by Brown is not in time. So first and third with 2 men down. Fortunately for the Phillies, B.J. Upton did not advance to second on that throw. Well, this play is right in front of Jason Hayward. He felt like he could make it and not make the last out at third base. Jason Nix did a nice job of making sure that ball didn't get by. Freddie Freeman walked his only time up. Inside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Coming into this series, Freddie Freeman's been swinging a very hot bat. As I mentioned last night, he's in the top 5 of almost every offensive category in the National League. So the Phillies have actually thus far found a way to kind of suppress that during this series.
Well, he was one of those guys the Braves locked up during this past offseason. Fouls it away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
When as a hitter, he looks like he really covers a lot of the plate. I think he's got good plate coverage down and away. I think he can cover off the plate, down and away, up and away. I think he's a little susceptible. Down and in, I think he's really strong. I think if there's anywhere he potentially might have a little bit of a hole, it's up and in. I think he protects that area quite well. Very good hitter.
Now ball right side. Mayberry makes a nice play, and Burnett's there to cover, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left. We've played 2.5. Jason Nix will lead things off when we return. Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW for an appointment. By McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. Well, it's a nice afternoon in Center City. Good day to be at the ballpark. Just a few miles away. Phillies and the Braves wrap up this homestand. Phillies last year were 5 games over 500 at Citizens Bank Park. They enter this game with a 3-5 record on this homestand. Trying to get their 4th victory here this afternoon against the Atlanta Braves. They haven't been able to muster a whole lot of offense in the last 11 innings or so, counting last night's shutout. And let's see if they can get something here against Alex Wood. It'll be Jason Nix, A.J. Burnett, and Ben Revere. Jason so far is 3 for 17. He's played a little shortstop. He's played third base. And today he's getting a chance to start at third base again. Cody Ashe is off today, and mostly because there's a left-hander out on the mound, and He's been struggling somewhat at the plate. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Nix is struck out, so 4 strikeouts for Alex Wood, and they'll bring A.J. Burnett to the plate. And speaking of Alex Wood, our Geico quote of the day comes to us from Wood about his pitching philosophy. I definitely am not afraid to go at somebody. I throw a lot of fastballs, and I like to make people earn what they get off me. Whatever they earn, that's good for them. But more times than not, I'm going to go right at you. Now, you can say that, but you then have to go out and do that as a starting pitcher.
Exactly, and I think each pitcher has a philosophy that they live by, and watching here today, he's living by that, and he's taking, he's continuing where Julio Teheran ended last night. So finding a way to, he's made a lot of good pitches down in the zone, and he's effectively used his breaking ball. He's thrown 1 changeup for a strikeout. So
Phillies got 2 hits in the first inning, but since that time, he has struck out 4 batters. 1-1 to Burnett. And 2 balls and 1 strike.
And he's really done it without his bread and butter, his changeup, which I know we'll see second, third time around the order. But you can see why he's so effective, because he is keeping the ball down so well. And he moves his fastball around very effectively.
I would have to think that there were people along the way, I could be way wrong with this, that tried to change this motion a little bit. Not have
I
him.
don't know. I don't know if I agree with you there, Tom. I mean, it's a little funky, but I think it's a base hit to right field, which is great to see by AJ. I'm sure he's not real happy about running at this point, but you know what? It's good to see. But getting back to Alex Wood, I think if he has success, they're probably not going to mess with it too much. And he got through the organization rather quickly in less than 2 years' time before he got to the big leagues. I think they're going to wait. So kind of those wait and see things. Yeah, let's let him fail or let him struggle, but right now, let's use what he has and move forward with it.
Well, that's the 3rd hit for the Phillies, and all 3 hits have been singles. It'll bring Ben Revere to the plate. Revere had one of those singles back in the first. And he takes low, 1-0.
I think you almost use one of those theories, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, you would hope that's the case if he's had success, and he did have success at Georgia. He was 13-10 for the Bulldogs in 31 starts before he was drafted. Line drive on 1 hop. Simmons has got it, has trouble getting it out of his glove, but the return is still pretty quick. And it's a 6-4-3 double play, and the side is retired. So the Phillies do get their 3rd hit. However, it's the 2nd double play of the day for the Braves. 3 in the books here in Philadelphia. The Phillies take on the Washington Nationals. It's a special 3:05 start, special game time, and a special giveaway. It's StubHub Mother's Appreciation Day. Free straw, large brim style derby hat for women 15 and older. Compliments of StubHub. Great baseball matchup and a free gift for women. Plan now and order your tickets at Phillies.com. There is that hat that young lady has in her possession. It's a great giveaway. And again, that's a special 3:05 start here at Citizens Bank Park. Well, we go to the top of the fourth inning, and Justin Upton, Chris Johnson, Dan Uggla will lead things off for the Braves against A.J. Burnett. Upton flied out to right. His first time up. In fact, that's the only out recorded in the air so far for A.J. Burnett. First pitch is inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Out of play, 1-1. Swing and a miss. 91-mile-an-hour fastball for Burnett.
And not that every game isn't a big game, but I think today's game for the Phillies is a big game just for the fact that, you know, they got swept by Milwaukee and then swept the Marlins and now have lost 2 in a row to Atlanta. And to come back and win today's game, I think would be a little momentum to take on to this road trip where, you know, they're going to Colorado, LA, and Arizona.
Yeah, a lot of times these trips out west aren't the easiest of trips for East Coast teams. But from a Phillies standpoint, they were 3-3 on that first road trip. And although they've hit at times on this homestand, they haven't hit consistently on this homestand.
And they've run, you know, give credit to the pitching too. They've run into some pretty good pitching, but they've had plenty of opportunities in the games, except for last night, that they, you know, have had opportunities.
Well, there's the first strikeout of the day for A.J. Burnett, and it comes to start the fourth. Just a fastball right here.
Yeah, he just elevates a fastball. Actually, it looks like really down the middle, but he'd been down, you know, and with that velocity, he was able to throw it by Justin Upton.
Chris Johnson's the batter. He grounded out to shortstop his only time up.
And as we said in our pregame, or as I mentioned in our pregame, you know, for Atlanta right now, it seems like it's, you know, they're living and dying with the home run, but when they're dying, it's dying with the strikeout.
We talked at length about that last year, how, you know, what kind of an effect that would have as the season was going on. As it turned out, it really didn't bother them at all.
I think it's when you hit the home runs. You're going to strike out, but it's when you're hitting home runs with guys on base and to go ahead in a game or to win a game. That's when, you know, it's the same thing as if you got a 300 hitter who hits 300 when nobody's on base or when the game's totally, you know, unbalanced versus the guy that hits 240 or 250, but that 240 or 250 is always when there's guys in scoring position, starting a rally. You know, there's a level of you know, happiness that you'd have, or the expectation that you have with hitters.
There's the grounder to short again. 2 outs.
That when they can get the hits, they mean something.
Right. Well, for A.J. Burnett, the meaning today has been to throw throw pitches to get ground outs, and he's gotten a bunch of them. They're 2 away, and Dan Uggla's coming up. Uggla grounded out to Utley his first time up. It went back toward the middle, and Utley was there to surround it. Boy, they are hitting that same spot. He's got good command today. I mean, you know, he has walked a couple batters, but he still is commanding that strike zone.
He is, and Jim Wolf's been very consistent with both pitchers as well.
High fastball, 0-2. Jim Wolf just looked over to the Phillies dugout and shrugged a little bit. I'm not sure if somebody said something to him. Here's the 2-2. Fouled away. It wasn't really a close pitch in this at bat.
I actually think he was laughing.
Oh, okay.
Because Will threw that one hopper, almost a fly ball over to Tucker.
Oh, is that what it was?
The bat boy, yeah, and it kind of short hopped him. Yeah. Where usually they roll the balls over there. I think they might have been just chuckling at that.
Did he go? Yes, he did, says Jim Wolf. He didn't need any help from the first base umpire. And the side is retired in order. A couple strikeouts for A.J. Burnett. He sets down the Braves 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Jimmy Rollins will lead it off when we return. By Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. Toyota's #1 for everyone's sales event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. Bottom of the fourth inning, it's no score. Braves with 1 hit, Phillies with 3 hits. Phillies will send Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, and Marlon Byrd to the plate. There's some more of those hats that'll be given out on Mother's Appreciation Day, thanks to StubHub. Almost looks like they're going to the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
They just realized that they're on television and they're looking the wrong way, though. Oh, there we go. All right, so Rollins will lead it off. Rollins hit one softly into a double play his first time up. Phillies on this homestand, numbers-wise, they've hit 250. Which isn't where they were as a team coming into this homestand. But they have 15 doubles, 2 triples, and 6 home runs. So 23 extra base hits in the 8 games leading up to this one. But they've averaged less than 4 runs per game. So they're trying to get going here against Alex Wood, and Jimmy Rollins looks like he's taken. And he takes a pitch low. It's 2-0.
Well, through the first 3 innings here, looks like Alex Wood's kind of like a Cliff Lee type of game. You get guys on, you utilize your defense, get the double play. I can get some strikeouts here. I can move my fastball around. I can change speeds when I want to. And it's why Cliff has success. And I think Alex Wood shows the potential to have that same type of success.
Well, he's thrown only 40 pitches through the first 3+ innings, and I guess that goes to your point, almost pitching to contact and let the defense make the plays behind him. The fact that he's gotten 2 double plays has certainly helped his cause. As Gerald Laird takes that one off the mask.
Well, even in this bat here to Jimmy, he starts out changeup, ball 1, ball 2, and he comes back fastball, fastball, fastball. And it goes back to his theory of pitching, or his philosophy with pitching is, I'm going to come at you. And you're going to earn what you get.
Now the 2-2 pitch to Rollins. Curveball. Has he thrown many curveballs today?
He hasn't thrown that many. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 out of 42 pitches. Off the end of the bat. That sounded like it was off the end of the bat. And Freeman, did he stay on the bag? He did. And there's one gone here in the bottom of the 4th. Well, here comes Chase Utley. He singled his only time up.
And when you're going good as a pitcher, those balls like Jimmy just hit there are going at somebody, because when they're not at somebody, it's an infield hit.
But I guess you could see too how he's kept some guys off balance, because Jimmy was off balance with a 2-strike swing and just barely made contact on that one. Utley takes outside, 1-0. Broke his bat, and that'll be a base hit for Chase Utley. So he's 2 for 2. He's 13 for 27 on this homestand. That's a homestand. And that'll bring Marlon Byrd to the plate.
You see a fastball. Looks like it's the inner third and ties Chase up a little bit. Gets him down on the label and bites the ball through the infield and breaks his bat. Here we can get Marlon can get some offense here, and the outfielders play so deep here for Atlanta. Good line drive into the gap. They got a chance to cut that off, but trying to get Chase first to third, get some movement here with the base runners, I think would be important. Get some momentum.
Yeah, I think you talk about movement. You wonder, since the offense has struggled these last 2 days. I mean, partly because of what Tehran did yesterday, but also because of what Wood is doing here. I mean, do you put Utley in motion and see if you can get something going?
Well, it's hard to run into outs when you don't have that many base runners. If you had a lot of base runners, I could see that, but I think it's really hard to run into an out.
Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And potentially run yourself out of an inning with the middle of your lineup coming up.
So I guess your thought is they're playing so deep, if Byrd even hits one to the outfield, Utley's going to go to third anyway, even if you don't put him in motion.
Yeah, it's true.
Inside, 2-1.
I think it depends how hard it's hit. And if it's in front of the outfielders, they can really come at that ball aggressively.
legs if he just served that over to the outside part of the plate.
Backdoor curveball.
Yep.
But the other thing is, with the outfielders playing so deep, on that little pop-up that sometimes are caught, the shallow ones that are caught, I think it gives the base runner an advantage, because that when that little pop-up goes up, he can take off. Whereas if they're playing a little more shallow, sometimes you can't take because you have to read it.
I am surprised how deep they do play. I don't know if it's that I don't remember them playing this deep last year, and they did, but I don't recall.
This is an outfield defense that you'd see late in the game when
I
you're
agree.
protecting a lead.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sure they have a reason behind it.
Back toward the middle, off the mound, picked up by Uggla. There's one. That's the third double play of the day that the Braves have turned, and the Phillies are retired here in the fourth. They do get a base hit. They do not leave anybody. 4 in the books. Both teams' offense is still looking for something. Timing when it comes to office supply delivery, WB Mason's same-day service can't be thrown out. Call by 11:30 and your order is delivered that same afternoon. Who but WB Mason? Top of the fifth inning, A.J. Burnett has allowed just the one hit. That was a single by B.J. Upton in the third. He's walked a couple batters. He has struck out 2. And he'll face Simmons, Laird, and Alex Wood for the Atlanta Braves. Simmons grounded out to third his first time up. He has not struck out yet this year. And he still has not struck out as he picks up the second hit of the day for the Braves. So he's aboard. Here comes Gerald Laird. Laird hit one back to the box his first time up.
I really like AJ's demeanor and his tempo today. It just looks like everything is under control, starting with his mind, and not that it hasn't been in the past, but it just there's just an air about him that he has really good command, and his tempo is consistent. And thus far he's got 9 ground balls and 1 flyout, or 9 ground ball outs and 1 flyout for an out, and 2 strikeouts.
To me, from a distance, they said he's adjusted his stride. The fact that he's had command, even though he's adjusted his stride, I don't know how big of a deal that is for a pitcher. I would think anytime you tinker with anything, it's a big deal, but
Well, for a guy like AJ who's been around a little bit, I'm sure he's tinkered with a lot of things over the course of his career.
So sort of like a hitter tinkers with what they do?
Exactly. And if you don't panic, just kind of let things come to you and really not let those other things affect you and just go out and pitch and compete, which he does, you see it really not affecting him.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Burnett. Excuse me, to Laird. Burnett deals. The runner goes. The pitch is a strike. The throw to second is not in time, but then he gets back to the bag. Jimmy Rollins was diving every which way to try to apply the tag after Simmons slid past the bag. But the second base umpire, Bill Welke, says he didn't get him before Simmons got his hand back on the bag. So Ryne Sandberg will take the very slow stroll out to the second base area as Larry Bowa will take a look at the replay to see if Rollins did indeed get Simmons. So it is a strikeout, the third of the day for A.J. Burnett. And Larry Bowa, I guess that's the sign of indifference that we're not sure. Take a look. Simmons is off the bag there. Watch Rollins go back after him. Did he get him? I can't tell whether he hit him there, or there. And now he's off again. Yeah, he got him. See, his hand came off, I think, at the last moment while Jimmy had the tag on the body. Now, that replay, I don't know if I'm overstating or not. It looked like he sort of made a fist and his hand came off the bag, and that's when Rollins still had the tag on him. Yeah. So they will review this one. So Ryne Sandberg decides to use the challenge here in the top of the 5th inning. Take a look at it one more time. Right there. He doesn't have him. He doesn't have him. He's tagged him there, and his hand's off the bag right there. So if they see that, it looks like his hand is off the bag, and he is out. Now, again, it has to be conclusive. The fans here at Citizens Bank Park are seeing a different view up on the video board, and their reaction, you can hear it in the background. The reaction behind us is if, they think he is out.
Yeah, right there at the last second, he had his hand on the bag, and for whatever reason, he pulled it back. Jimmy was still.
Here, watch this one, Jamie. This should tell us, right? There, his hand is on the bag. Then Rollins tags him, then his hand's off the bag. Yeah. So they should call him out here. Bill Welke was right on top of it, though.
Well, but from where he was, I don't know if he could see where his fingers just slightly came off the bag. Right from where Bill is, right there. Yep.
Yeah, so we're looking at the big video board here. That's what Jamie's looking at as he's describing it. And he is out at second base. All right, so it's a good challenge.
So did he first say? Well, he said safe. So it's safe. It's a stolen base, right? It's considered a stolen base. But then he's out, right? Is that how it's officially scored?
I think it's a caught stealing. I believe it's a caught stealing overall.
But I thought if they signaled safe, or if they.
Well, I think in this case, though,
with the replay, it's no longer scored that way.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So 2 outs. Alex Wood's the batter. Well, even with all the glitches that replay has had, and it has had glitches, there's no doubt about it. What we have seen is that it has changed games. And in a case right there, you're looking at 2 outs and nobody on. Instead of 1 out, runner at second and the pitcher up. There's the 1-1 pitch to Wood. Outside, 2-1. Alex Wood walked his only time up.
Oh, in that situation there, it takes you with a man, from a man on second with the pitcher up, which is going to eventually turn the lineup over to now 2 outs and nobody on base.
You anticipate that Wood probably would have bunted Simmons over to third, or at least attempted to. Instead, A.J. Burnett can work from the windup. And the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Well, that's 4 strikeouts for A.J. Burnett. Side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left, and 1 challenge that goes the Phillies' way. Middle of the 5th, John Mayberry will lead it off for the Phils. The #1 live streaming sports service is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit Phillies.com for details. A.J. Burnett is through 5 innings. By the way, the replay, the argument and the whole coverage of the replay took 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Now that helped A.J. Burnett get through the top of the 5th inning. So now he'll sit and wait and hope that his offense can get something rolling here. Green means go, so we're about to begin the bottom of the 5th inning as Alex Wood finishes up his warm-up tosses. It'll be Mayberry, Dominic Brown, and Will Nieves against the 23-year-old left-hander.
Tom, I was thinking over the last half inning of the conversation we had about the Phillies putting guys in motion or stealing, with a guy like Alex Wood who's around the plate, I think it's a guy that you can hit and run with or against because he is around the plate and he is throwing strikes. It's just a matter of picking the right situation. You got to have the right matchup with the hitter and the base runner too.
That one's pulled toward third, and Chris Johnson slings it across the diamond. 1 pitch, 1 away. Well, there's always this debate in baseball about doing a little bit more when your offense is somewhat stagnant. And Phillies offense for the most part this year has actually been pretty good. The last few days, obviously, with Tehran throwing the shutout yesterday, Ryan Sandberg's team has been somewhat quiet, and then even today with the way Alex Wood has thrown, they've been quiet. You just wonder sometimes if you're able to shake the tree a little bit.
No, I hear you, and I know from a pitching standpoint, when you're always pitching with guys on base and you're always trying to think of situations that you have to pitch out of, it does put a little more stress on your efforts.
0-1 to Dominic Brown outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Dominic lined out toward the wall in left field is only time up, so he's 0 for 1.
When you only have to think about making the pitch and not other things around you that could change the outcome of the game, it makes it a little bit easier to pitch.
That's a foul ball, and it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Brown. Over to third. And 2 quick outs here in the 5th inning. Well, we mentioned the replay certainly helped the Phillies in the top of the 5th. And Larry Boa, after getting some advice, wasn't totally sure. whether the base runner was out or safe. Basically telling Ryan Sandberg, you're on your own, make the decision. But Murph, the hand signals are all part of what will lead Ryan Sandberg to decide to review it or not review it.
You're right, Tom, and they're very intricate. Larry Bowa trying to explain it to us the other day. They have 3 signals, as you mentioned. They have this one. That means, challenge it, because we're going to get this one right. They have this one. And that means don't challenge it, because you're going to get it wrong. And then the one you just saw was, I got no idea. You're on your own, Brian, and you just do what you got to do. So, it really is that simple for these guys. They're going back and looking at the video and trying to make a split-second decision. But sometimes you have to watch it for a little while before you can, really see. In that instance, you saw that. So sometimes Larry's just going to give him one of these and say, I don't know.
Murph, what would be your sign for the wheatgrass?
That was this. That was that. That was. Apparently, that picture is making its rounds throughout the ballpark.
I would think it would be making its rounds throughout the ballpark.
It's very tasty.
Swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
I feel like $1 million though.
You got a lot of energy now?
I do.
Yeah, that's good. That's what you need, more energy.
I'm going to just run around the ballpark.
Well, it was funny, though. I mean, it's a great reaction from Larry Bowa. I mean, it's honest as it gets right there. There's the 0-2 to the A base. Ground ball towards short, and Simmons is there. And 3 ground balls to the left side of the infield, and the Phillies go down quietly in their half of the 5th inning. Well, we're moving along. We're through 5. Braves nothing, Phillies nothing. Is just getting started on his 12th career season with the Phils. Out of spring training and into the fire, Chase has come out pounding the ball to start the 2014 campaign. In just the first week, his 2 home runs, a .458 average, 11 hits, and 5 for extra bases, including his 300th career double, is the exact production Ryan Sandberg is looking for from Utley's location in the lineup. The chase for success has started early, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, Chase is 2 for 2 today. The Phillies have managed just 4 hits against Alex Wood. Fortunately for the Phillies, the Braves have just 2 hits against A.J. Burnett. Burnett will face the top of the order, so 3 times through. It'll be Hayward, B.J. Upton, and Freddie Freeman as we go to the top of the 6th inning here at Citizens Bank Park. Hayward grounded out to first and then bounced into a fielder's choice both times to the first baseman. And he pulls that one to John Mayberry, who's able to easily make that play. 1 gone here in the 6th. Well, John Mayberry has looked very comfortable over there at first base. It's a position that he's played often, first in college. Well, I'm sure he played it a little bit in high school, but he played it predominantly in college at Stanford. Was drafted as an outfielder, though. And one of the reasons why the Phillies felt like he would still be on the roster when spring training broke was that, particularly with Ruff going down, is that he could be a backup over at first when there's a tough lefty on the mound if Ryan Howard needed to take a day off. And today, Jamie, he's made a couple plays that have looked very easy over at first base, including a throw to second on the ball that Jason Hayward hit in the third to get Alex Wood on a force play.
Yeah, and a lot of it stems from his footwork. He really, as you mentioned earlier, Tom, or just mentioned that throw to second base. He got the ball, he got in a good position, got his feet, he pivoted correctly, and really made a good throw. And on that play that he made look really easy, that little 3-1 in between ground ball, he got to the ball, and he was able to show AJ the ball, and he led him with the ball.
Yeah,
and that's a very difficult play.
And sometimes it's even more difficult for a right-hander, some of those plays, because you have to shift your body a little differently.
Exactly.
1 ball and 2 strikes to B.J. Upton. Over to shortstop. Well, these infielders for both teams came to work today saying, I better get some work. We don't need any fly ball pitching. Well, they're getting some work here today.
Well, and if you've come to this ballpark in the last 2 days and wanted to learn how to pitch, you've had 4 unbelievable pitching performances from 4 different types of pitchers. So, you know, Tehran, Cliff Lee, Alex Wood, and now AJ Burnett. I mean, it's pretty special to watch. Those who appreciate pitching understand how difficult it is to pitch and pitch effectively. These 4 guys that I've just mentioned have done a phenomenal job. And actually, if you look around baseball, yesterday there were a lot of well-pitched games.
Down the left field line, it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, you can look at Yankee Stadium, both ends of that day-night doubleheader that the Yankees had between Tanaka and Pineda. Johnny Cueto and how well he pitched yesterday for the Cincinnati Reds.
Felix Hernandez in Seattle.
1-1 pitch to Freeman. Low and in, 2-1.
And they make it look so easy. And it's really not, believe me. Especially in ballparks like Cincinnati, where the ballpark is rather small. But I think the difference today for AJ is the command of his fastball. If we go back his last couple starts, he's really had trouble commanding his fastball consistently. Today he's been able to do that.
3 balls and 1 strike to Freeman. A liner to right field. That'll be in for a base hit. Marlon Byrd will get to it. And for the Braves, that's just their 3rd hit. Now, the Phillies have some value dates on the schedule here in 2014. Buy one, get one free dates are May 5th, August 5th, and September 9th. And then the Super Fanatic value dates offer an $8 discount on tickets the 28th of May and the 18th of August. Group value day pricing is good for groups of 50 or more, and they're subject to select locations and availability. Call 215-463-5000 for tickets. Justin Upton, a chopper to short, backhanded by Rollins. Side is retired again. Again, 3 more ground outs for A.J. Burnett. He leaves 1. We've played 5.5. Let's see if the bottom of the order can get the offense rolling for the Phillies. Pennsylvania Lottery benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Buy Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And buy AT&T, mobilizing your world. Well, it is a gorgeous day. A little cooler than expected at this point. Ryan Howard, who did not start today, may be utilized as a pinch hitter. He is a very good pinch hitter. John Mayberry is playing first base in Ryan's spot here this afternoon. Pretty soon Ryan will head back underneath and take some more swings just to get himself focused on pinch hitting. Time now for our Hyundai defensive play of the game. Freddie Freeman, Jamie, got up pretty high on this one.
He did get up pretty high. Fortunately for him, it was hit kind of right at him. He was in a good low position, which allowed him to make that big jump, and turned out to be a big play. It might have been a turning point for this game.
Brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. Now, that is a good point, because if that ball had gone over his head, it wasn't hit hard, but the Phillies would have had at least second and third, you would think, right?
At least. If you look where the right fielder's playing Hayward, he's playing very deep, and that ball wouldn't have gotten down to the wall. Jimmy would have easily gotten to third, and who knows, maybe he could have scored.
Jason Nix struck out his only time up. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball and 2 strikes.
But what that does, that's early in the game. That's the first 2 hitters of the game. You got nobody out, potentially first and third. He really hasn't established anything yet, and you've got Chase, Marlin, and John Mayberry coming up to the bat.
And a called strike 3. And then Nix is down looking. Tomorrow on Comcast Sportsnet, Phillies top sports writers talk about the Phils-Braves series and, of course, the upcoming series against the Rockies and the Flyers' Game 1 matchup with the Rangers. Phillies Sports Talk presented by Comcast Business. It's also later on at 5 on Comcast Sportsnet. Join the conversation on Twitter at PST on CSN. So, again, it's later on at 5 on Comcast Sportsnet. A.J. Burnett singled his first time up. He has one of the 4 hits for the Phillies this afternoon. Oop. 2-1. Opposite way, Ugla to his left. He kicks it a couple of times, bobbles it another time, and Burnett is retired. And there are 2 outs. Now the fans not overly pleased with AJ's run up the first base line, but he is battling that sore groin or that hernia. It's almost as if he started, stopped, stopped every time he bobbled the ball.
I mean, I can't say I can't speak for how he feels. When he runs that stride that you take, I would have no idea what that feels like, if it's painful or if it's not. But he's doing his job as a hitter right now, or excuse me, as a pitcher. And there's what we talk about, making the defense make a play for you. And right there, Johnson was not able to pick that ball cleanly, and it's Ben Revere on first base with 2 outs.
So Revere is 2 for 3 thanks to that bunt single. And it's the 5th hit overall for the Phils. And it brings Jimmy Rollins to the plate.
He deadens this ball nicely. Comes out in the grass. We'll get a little bit of spin to it, but when a third baseman's coming in like that, it's always a tough play to be moving and catch the ball at the same time, and then he's also trying to pick up the first baseman to make his throw.
Marlins takes wide, 1-0. Phillies have hit into 3 double plays here this afternoon, which is why they have not had a runner in scoring position this afternoon. Just 71 pitches for Alex Wood.
Looks like, I don't know, my feeling, Jimmy's looks like he's using a different bat here today. Looks like it's one of Ryan Howard's models. And actually I saw it in the clubhouse the other day. It is a log. But I think Jimmy may be sitting on something soft here.
Well, here's Revere trying to swipe second, and he is out at second base. Perfectly executed by the Braves in the pickoff. And the subsequent caught stealing. First time this year Revere's been caught stealing. We'll go to the 7th, still nothing on the board. It's time now for your local Honda dealers game summary, and neither team really has put a whole lot of offense together these last couple of days. The Braves have 3 hits. The Phillies have 5. The Phillies are scoreless in the last 16 innings offensively. Thankfully for them today, A.J. Burnett has been very good. 4 strikeouts over 6 innings. And he'll go to work against Chris Johnson, Dan Uggla, Andrelton Simmons as we go to the top of the 7th inning. First pitch is a little high, 1 ball, no strikes. Phillies will have bullpen action behind A.J. Burnett as Jake Diekman starts to throw. Ground ball to third, Jason Nix. 13 ground ball outs for A.J. Burnett. These lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. I think the thing that makes this so interesting these last couple of days is that from a Phillies standpoint, you have two pitchers who have totally different styles that have basically handled the Braves offense. Now, they lost yesterday 1-0, but Cliff Lee was overpowering. Burnett, at times during his career, most of his careers, when he's successful, is an overpowering pitcher. Today, he's been sort of a finesse pitcher. That one is hit softly to center, and Revere makes a diving play. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Well, no finesse about that whatsoever. Ben Revere started sidewinding in and then left his feet at the last moment to pull that one in.
Ben gets a great jump on this ball and a good read. And you know, he was playing, I don't want to say he was playing fairly deep, but I think Uggla hit that ball off the end of the bat and makes a great diving play. And checking those ribs as he lands, I'm sure. I think they feel okay.
He's not going to say that they don't feel okay because he doesn't want to sit anymore. Simmons with a big swing. And it's 0-1.
That was a potential game-changing swing right there.
Yeah, he's trying to give the Braves a 1-0 lead here in the 7th inning.
Now, as a pitcher, sometimes you go, is that a deke, or is he, is he going to swing like that again?
He looked like he was ready to swing like that again, but he had a little extra movement on that pitch. It's 0-2.
Well-placed sinker down and in.
Mike Adams and Jake Diekman both up in the pen. And the 0-2 pitch. That one went right out by Will Nieves. It's 1-2. Ground ball outs. And another strikeout as Nieves hangs on. Strikeout number 5 for A.J. Burnett. Time to stretch here in Philadelphia. After a nice play by Ben Revere, takes A.J. Burnett through 7. For the Flyers and their fans, the NHL playoffs are upon us, and A.J. Burnett, a heck of a job here this afternoon as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and he congratulates Ben Revere, thanks him as well after Revere's diving stab. Time now for the Jeep Stump the Fans trivia question answer. All right, Jamie, here's the question. Which Braves player was named the 95 World Series MVP?
Well, it took me a little bit, but I thought it had some sort of tie into the game today. And we have a left-handed pitcher on the mound.
Oh, is that your tie-in?
That was my tie-in. So I'm going to say Tom Glavine.
Tom Glavine is correct. Tom Glavine, who no doubt a Hall of Famer, won over 300 games with the Braves and the New York Mets. Jimmy Rollins will lead things off. Rollins is 0 for 2. And he hits that one out towards shallow center, and B.J. Upton is there. And 1 out, and here comes Chase Utley. Alex Wood today has allowed 5 hits, 2 to Chase Utley. He's been really good. In fact, you mentioned it before, and we've been talking about it these last 2 days. If you're a fan of pitching, then you have loved every bit about these 2 games. And different styles. You know, A.J. Burnett has 8 3-ball counts and has pitched very well through 7. Well, Alex Wood has 1 3-ball count today.
Well, the thing that I really like about it is what you said, Tom, the different styles. You can get the same results pitching so many different ways, and we've seen that here with 4 different types of pitchers.
1 ball and 1 strike to Utley.
And it goes to show that you don't have to be an overpowering pitcher to be successful. And I think so much in today's game is talked about power in pitching. But not that these guys are finesse pitchers by any means, but they're all doing it differently. And they've all worked really well with their catchers. And that's really, really important. I believe it's not just one, it takes 2 people.
1-2 pitch to Utley. Pulls that one toward first. Freddie Freeman has it. And that'll leave this inning for Marlon Byrd. Well, I think you're right about the catchers. In fact, we said this is Will Nieves' 3rd start. And nobody can ever replace Carlos Ruiz with everything he does. But I've been impressed with the way Nieves has handled 3 different pitchers during his brief time out there for the Phillies.
Yeah, he's done a good job, and I've noticed a couple times, even early in the game, in today's game, you know, he called a sign or gave a sign to AJ, and he gives a little, little fist pump, like,
right.
Come on, I'm with you here, make a good pitch, and I'd love to see that.
Marlins 0 for 2. Struck out his first time and hit into a double play. It's Bastardo now who's up for the Phillies. Over toward the hole, off the glove of Johnson, and a base hit for Marlon Byrd. A 2-out single, and that's the 6th hit of the day for the Phillies. John Mayberry is 0 for 2. He struck out looking and grounded out. Come on, Junior. I think John's played a flawless game over at first base today defensively. Pulls that one softly toward third. It's going to be a tough play for Johnson, who's got a good arm. And he throws it cleanly to first. And that'll wrap up the bottom of the 7th inning. John Mayberry tripped over the foot of Freddie Freeman. They went head first into the chalk here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies leave 1. We go to the 8th. Delaware Valley Honda dealer, or shophonda.com. By WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And by the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. Well, the red goes green team, or at least part of it, joining the Fanatic up on the dugout. Time now for our WB Mason deliveries of the game. And for A.J. Burnett, his deliveries were down in the zone today, and one ground ball out after another, Jamie.
Yeah, he sure did. It threw a lot of fastballs and located them very well. Defense played very well behind him, and the tempo of this game for both pitchers and both teams has been rather quick.
13 ground ball outs overall for A.J. Burnett. Ryan Sandberg with a firm handshake. Those are our WB Mason deliveries of the game. So he did his job. Now he gives way to the bullpen, who will take over here in the top of the 8th inning. It's Bastardo, who will come into his 8th game, 7 1/3 so far for Antonio. And he'll face Gerald Laird, Alex Wood, and then the top of the order.
And I think the key for Antonio today here is to get ahead with Gerald Laird. That's where he's seemed to have struggled in his last couple outings, where he's gotten behind, he's walked a leadoff hitter, and it's led to a run. So getting ahead here, getting that first guy out is really important.
Oh, he's walked the leadoff hitter in 3 of his last 4 outings. And he gets ahead with a fastball. It's 0-1. Laird is grounded back to the pitcher and then struck out swinging in the 5th. A line drive, base hit it to left center field. Dominic Brown's going to try to cut it off, and he knocks it down, but Laird is going to get to second. And that'll go down as a double. But I wonder if Dominic was going to, if he was able to cut that off, if he would have held Gerald Laird at first base. Because Laird is a catcher. He doesn't run all that well. And Dominic has a plus arm.
And here he kind of snow coned it. We picked it up. He thought he had it in his glove and went to reach for it. And wasn't there.
You're right. I didn't see that. He did literally reach for it, looking as if the ball was there. Well, they have scored it a double all the way. So Laird is at second with his first extra base hit of the year. And here's Wood. Wood does have a sacrifice bunt this year. He walked his first at bat, struck out in the 5th. Oh, and 1.
And here's where you really help yourself as a pitcher. The manager realizes you're pitching a good game, and he has the confidence with you to leave you in the game to go up there and get a bunt down. This potentially could determine whether Alex wins or loses this game, if he can get this bunt down or not.
He bunts at it, and he missed it. It's 0-2.
Looks like he's not that confident with his bunting.
Now, that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, take it. But this sometimes determines whether you stay in a game in the middle of a game, if you can get a run, a bunt down.
He butted at it again, and that's a strikeout. There's one gone here in the 8th inning. Back to the top of the order for Jason Hayward. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph?
All right, thanks, Tom. Brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy University. And the All-Star game this year for Major League Baseball is in Minneapolis, so no surprise that Joe Mauer has been tagged as the All-Star ambassador. He's a 6-time All-Star himself for the Twins. This year, he'll be eligible for first base as an All-Star. He'll be joined by Twin legends Paul Molitor, Bert Bylevin, Rod Carew, and Tony Oliva as well. And some injury news for the Blue Jays. Their closer, Casey Janssen, has been shut down because of a strained back and abdominal muscle. But the Blue Jays did get some good news. They expect that Jose Reyes will be back in their lineup this weekend, as early as tomorrow, in fact. So that is good news for them. But Jansen will be on the shelf for the next few days. All right, guys, back upstairs.
Murph, they're not going to need Jansen today. Right now, they're down 5-0 in Minnesota.
Okay. Yep.
So one game you can check off.
Probably not what they were hoping for, but okay.
Well, that's because they have to consume some more wheatgrass is what they have to do.
That's right. I feel like $1 million.
1 ball and no strikes to Hayward. For the runner at second base and one man down here in the top of the 8th. 1-1. Hayward is 0 for 3. He has grounded the ball 3 times to Dominic Brown at first base. Excuse me, to John Mayberry at first base. There's Mike Adams. Out toward right field. Marlon Byrd is there. That did not look like it was an easy ball to judge, the way it was moving out toward Marlon.
Yeah, it was well hit. But fortunately, it was right at him, and I think that's what he was trying to determine, whether it was going to have overspin and be short of him, or if it was going to carry. I think he was trying to read that ball to see what potentially it may do.
Alex Wood is really upset with himself. You can see it in the dugout because he didn't get that bunt down.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling when first 2 pitches you get are fastballs, and they're very buntable fastballs, and the second one he kind of jabbed at it. It is. I've been in that situation. Bunting looks simple. It's not easy, but as much as you practice, you should be able to get it down.
B.J. Upton is 1 for 3. Little low, 1 ball, no strikes.
And if he does get it down, he's winning 1-0.
Well,
right
I think
now.
That's why his reaction was the way it was in the dugout. If he's projecting that the same thing would have happened. One and one. I can sense, though, your intensity about the whole bunting thing, and just the way you're talking about it, just saying it's not easy to do it.
Yeah, when I was a young player in the Cubs organization, boy, they really stressed it. And you kind of, as a younger player, you don't take it serious, and then all of a sudden you get to the big leagues and you screw it up a couple times, and all of a sudden you realize how important it is, and then it makes you work even harder on it. And I'll tell you, I know when I came back over when I came to the Phillies in '06. I hadn't really bunted for a while because I was in the American League. I spent a ton of time in spring training getting reacclimated to it. I then learned to appreciate it.
Well, yeah. Nieves keeps that around the plate, 2-2.
It was a great block by Will right there. It's a breaking ball in the dirt, a slider in the dirt. He kept that ball in front of him. That's a big play. Did a good job. When a ball kind of, see how that kind of hit and kicked back? It's usually the result you get with a breaking ball or slider in the dirt, but you're never sure. Remember a couple days ago, Carlos Ruiz, I think it was Carlos, the ball skipped across the plate.
Way inside, 3-2. Freddie Freeman's on deck, a left-handed batter. More of a contact guy than the guy that's at the plate right now, and B.J. Upton. A high fly ball, shallow left field. Rollins backpedaling, still backpedaling, makes the catch, and the side is retired. Well, Antonio Bastardo's able to work around a leadoff double, so now we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It'll be Dominic Brown, Will Nieves, and Jason Nix. Thursday, May 6th, with the Phillies take on the Toronto Blue Jays. It's Teva Respiratory Asthma Awareness Night here at Citizens Bank Park. It's a free blue base Phillies baseball cap for all fans. Compliments of Teva. Interleague play and a great gift for all fans by going to Phillies.com. Phillies are wrapping up this homestand. And neither the Phillies or the Braves have set the offense on fire these last couple of days, and you can see it's been all about pitching these last 2 days for both teams. Dominic Brown takes low, 1 ball, no strikes. You got Papelbon warming in the bullpen. He'll come in if the Phillies take the lead or if it remains 0-0. It's not going to matter. 2-0. Base runners, base runners, base runners. Got to try something. The Phillies have not got a runner in scoring position today.
Yeah, and it's interesting how, you know, the starting pitchers weren't getting deeper into the game for the Phillies, and now they're getting and they were scoring a lot of runs.
Well, there's Brown, who fights one off into left field, so a base hit. We just showed 2 shots of 2 guys that are available off the bench. Evan Gattis, Ryan Howard, both of whom are available here this afternoon.
And now they're getting a little deeper into the game, and they're not scoring any runs. So and that's the fickle thing with baseball. You just never know.
Now, Jamie, Gattis is not the only catcher that's on the roster as a backup today. They have Ryan Doman, so if they need him to pinch hit, they can. You know, there's always this worry about using the backup catcher. There's no real worry for them because Doman can go behind the plate if they need to. Let's see if Nieves tries to bunt Dominic Brown up into scoring position here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Quick toss over to first, and Brown is back ahead of the tag. Nieves is 0 for 2. He's struck out and he's grounded out to shortstop. He squares and he bunts it beautifully over to first. Ugla a little late getting over there, and the sacrifice is successful. Well, the Phillies are trying to get a run against Alex Wood. Alex Wood today, and with very few pitches, Jamie, has been very good for the Braves.
He's been very efficient. You see a changeup right there, which he hasn't thrown that many. But here, a lot of good fastballs down in the zone. And then a breaking ball, hanging breaking ball he gets away with, turns a double play. He's been very efficient, as you mentioned, Tom, and that's why he is at this point in the game at 86 pitches into the 8th inning. And again, another guy that looks like he hasn't broken a sweat out there.
Here's Jason Nix, who is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. Brown leads off second. Ground ball foul. It's 0-1. Ryan Howard is in the on-deck circle for the Phils. In there for strike 2. It's 0-2. Avilan and Carpenter. Last time we peeked into the Braves bullpen was last night, and those 2 guys were throwing. They weren't needed. And now the 0-2 pitch coming to Jason Nix. He stays alive. He hasn't had really many good swings against Alex Wood today. Phillies, from a bench standpoint, they have Ashe left-handed, Gwynn left-handed, Howard left-handed. He's on deck, and then Galvis a switch hitter. There's Cody Ashe. He went around, so there are 2 outs, and now it's left to Ryan Howard. It seems he's peeking into the dugout to see if they want him to pinch it here or wait. And they're going to run Ryan Howard out here right now. Ryan this year hitting .231. As we said, he's a very good pinch hitter. .381 for his career with 6 home runs. He has 42 at bats as a pinch hitter. Breaking ball, it's 1-0. I don't know how much. Well, they may go after him if they, let's say, throw a strike here, but they have first base open. And even though Ryan does have a tendency to strike out, they may be careful with him here with first base open.
I think maybe if Ryan gets on, they may go to the bullpen.
1-0 pitch to Howard.
Just depends what kind of confidence Freddie has with Alex Wood here. Maybe not wanting to put him into a situation that can necessarily fail as a young pitcher. But on the other hand, you leave him in, he gets out of it. It's a big boost for him too.
Pickoff play on at second, and Brown, oh boy, you can't get picked off there. He's back ahead of the tag. Bill Welke, the second base umpire. That was really close.
Closer than it looked originally. Real speed.
Yeah, and Simmons is just hanging out there. A lot of times they will put the shortstop there with Howard up. Does look like they're working around him. And he went after that pitch, and it's 2-1. A changeup.
Yeah, I don't believe they're going to give Ryan. He's going to see too many fastballs in the zone. If he's going to get a fastball, it's not going to be in the zone. I wouldn't think. And I like that with a young pitcher. He wasn't sure of the sign. He calls timeout, steps off to make sure he understands the pitch.
Toyota Major League Scoreboard. Ian Kinsler is homer today, and the Tigers lead the Indians 5-3 at the top of the 6th. There's that fastball.
Wow.
Oh, he surprised him right down the chute. And it's 2-2. After throwing that fastball to make it 2-2, he comes back with a breaking pitch. It's 3-2. Well, if you're a hitter, you're probably guessing all over the place here.
I think he's just throwing the fastball down and away. It's his bread and butter.
There you go. Ball 4, and Howard works out a walk. 2 on, 2 outs here in the 8th inning. It is the first time today the Phillies have had 2 base runners on. In fact, that runner at second base is the first base runner the Phillies have had in scoring position. Looks like the infielders are wondering if there's going to be somebody to pinch run for Ryan Howard. And it's going to be Cody Ashe who's going to come in to pinch run. So Ashe will pinch run for Ryan. It's twofold. Part of it is to try to get to second base, so you don't have a force play there. But also, if you can get a ball into the gap, you can get 2 here. Ben Revere has 2 hits. He singled to left. He reached on a bunt single. He hit into a double play. Raiders take their lead. Breaking ball. Line drive, base hit into center field. Brown's around third, heading for home. The throw by Upton is not in time. The Phillies take the lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's a 1-0 ball game. And Ben Revere has 3 hits here this afternoon. And this one, he hit harder than the other 2.
You see a curveball that he left up and out over the plate. Bedden did a great job using the big part of the field, just hitting it back through the middle. And Dominic, with his good speed, scored rather easily. Throw was offline a little bit. Clutch hit right there for Ben Revere and the Phillies.
Ashe was around second and then put the brakes on. He wasn't sure if that ball was going to be cut off or not. Here's Rollins now with runners on first and second. It's in there for strike. It's 0-1. The Phillies' first runs since the 8th inning on Monday nights. Oh, 0-1 the count to Rollins. 0-2.
That was a big at bat by Ryan Howard to take that walk as a pinch hitter to allow Ben to get
Up with guys on first and second. And, Ben really he was only a 2-pitch at bat, but he saw a curveball for a strike and saw a hanger and did what he's supposed to do with it. Hit it back through the middle.
Rollins grounds that one foul, and it remains 0-2. Plus, you have 2 different scenarios over the last inning. Alex Wood could not sacrifice Laird over to third to potentially score on a sac fly, and Will Nieves, can't forget that sacrifice bunt up the first baseline.
The little things in the game, right, Tom?
Yep. 0-2 pitch, outside and high, 1-2.
And you go back to spring training, and what did Ryan Sandberg really spend a lot of time talking about? The fundamentals of the game, how they can win you and lose you games.
Swing and a miss, and Jimmy is struck out. Side is retired. The Phillies, though, strike first. It took until the 8th inning before Ben Revere lined a breaking ball into center field that brought home Dominic Brown with the game's only run at this point. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Jonathan Papelbon's coming on. immediately after the game. Stay tuned for Ricky Vitalico's analysis of today's matchup with the Braves. Only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Post-Game Live. Well, the Phillies are trying to salvage the final game of this homestand. Ben Revere's RBI single in the bottom of the 8th inning has given the Phillies a 1-0 lead. The Phillies now have 8 hits here this afternoon. And they'll turn it over to Jonathan Papelbon, who will pick up where Antonio Bastardo left off. Papelbon has 3 saves in 4 opportunities. And he will face Freddie Freeman, Justin Upton, and Chris Johnson. Freeman is 1 for 2. He walked in the first, singled in the 6th, then grounded out. That one is fouled over the Braves dugout. 0-1. Well, Jamie, we will say goodbye to you for a little bit of time after today's ball game. After we head out, we're going to Denver. Matt, who's been here and is here today and is hanging out, will get back into the booth. And you'll get a chance to see your boys play a little baseball. And hopefully, as you leave and Matt comes in, there's a little more offense over the next few days at Denver.
Yeah, hopefully he's bringing some bats with him, some hits.
Down the left field line out of play. It's 0-2. People have asked us the last couple of weeks, where is Matt? And we probably should get into a practice of when we start let's say a series, we lay it out. All right. Me and Matt for these few days. Right. Me and Jamie for the next 10 days, so everybody knows, as we all get used to the way the schedules are rolling around. 0-2 pitch to Freeman. A little high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Papelbon in his last outing, fastball topped out at 92, and it was there pretty consistently. It's not a bad number if he can locate it the way he did.
Good split right there.
Sure was.
Not sure where that was.
I guess maybe a little outside, but man, you can see the spin of that.
Yeah, but it's not where he catches it. It's where it crosses the
You're
plate.
right. And now the 2-2 pitch to Freeman. High fly ball to center. Ben Revere is out there. Waiting. One away here at the top of the 9th inning. Phillies are trying to get back to the 500 mark. A win today, they'd be within a game as they head out west. 3 against the Rockies, who are 7-9. And then 4 against the Dodgers, and then 3 against the Arizona Diamondbacks to wrap it up. Tomorrow will be on at 8:30 Eastern time. And pregame live is at 8 o'clock. Did you leave anything in Denver that you want us to pick up while we were out there?
Nah, I think I pretty much got everything I need.
Got everything?
Denver. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Actually, I'll be at a college baseball game tomorrow.
Phew.
Pepperdine.
Beautiful campus. 2 balls and no strikes to Justin Upton. Upton today is 0 for 3. He's flied out. He is struck out. He's grounded out to shortstop.
Where was that?
I don't know.
Wasn't above the mask.
The only thing I can think of is he's calling it high, but it didn't look high. high fastball was at 93, and Upton was late.
I've noticed his swing this series a little bit. Some fastballs. He's been behind him, and he's notoriously a good fastball hitter.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Justin Upton. 25,000 plus here today. Papelbon has his signs. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. 93 once again. 2 outs here in the 9th.
Here's a very well located fastball, and look at Will with a little extra energy there. I like it.
So Papelbon will face Chris Johnson now. Johnson has grounded out 3 times. Once to short, or I should say twice to short, once to third. Jason Nix over toward the line on the third base side. Outfielders are deep. Well, it looked like he missed his spot, but that time it was over the plate, according to Jim Wolf.
He has been very consistent today, Jim, on the ball down.
A little bit of a slurve. That's the first time he's thrown that. And it's 0-2.
Good pitch right there as well. As Johnson was behind it.
No balls and 2 strikes. Papelbon is set, and the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. 93 on the fastball, and Jonathan Papelbon closes out the final game of this series as the Phillies win it 1-0 over the Atlanta Braves. Well, Papelbon with a lot of life on his fastball here today. And speaking of life, Ben Revere's offense showed some life. He had 3 hits, including the game winner, the only RBI of the day, and it came in the bottom of the 8th inning. So Ryan Sandberg's team salvages this homestand as they take it over the Atlanta Braves by a final of 1-0. Great pitching today by A.J. Burnett. Give credit to Antonio Bastardo. He closed out the 8th inning, and then Jonathan Papelbon picked up his 4th save of the season by getting the side in order in the 9th inning. Well, Ben Revere's game-winning hit came at the right time. And, Jimmy, you said it was a curveball, and he just followed it right into center field.
Curveball, he stayed on it. Just used a big part of the field. Dominic got a great jump and never looked back, and he scored easily.
So Ben Revere with the RBI single, and with that, he gets a chance to hang out with Murph. Murph, take it away.
All right, thank you very much. Well, 3 hits on the afternoon for Ben Revere, but take us through that final at bat. The guys before you did their jobs, and then you were able to come through with yours.
No, key winner right there is this Will. You know what I mean, get that second butt down, get the run over. It's just there's good team fundamentals right there. That's what we call. So that was spring training for it. That's practice for it. But it's just try to see it pitch up and got bound, and luckily found some green grass in the outfield.
Found the hole. All right, well, talk a little bit about winning. You guys, the last 3 wins that you've had have all come in your final at bat. What does that do to energize the clubhouse, especially coming off what were considered 2 tough losses, I would imagine?
Yeah, I mean, give credit to the Braves. They're a great team. They're going to be a tough battle for us in the division and everything. But definitely a tough one. With the first game this last night.
I probably could have helped you with that one, Ben. We'll let him get cleaned up for just 1 second. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, it looks good. Is it shaving cream or whipped cream? Because you never can tell. That shaving cream? Go ahead, finish your thought, Ben.
But, it's just, this team right here, we have great hitters. Last night, we got to give credit to their guy. It was his game, but just come out here with this victory today. It's good for us. So we're going on the road trip with high hopes.
Yeah, it'll make the plane ride that much better out to Denver. Go get cleaned up. And congratulations on that, guys. Back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. Jonathan Papelbon with some pretty good energy as he was able to close out this one for the Phils. Same for the Phils fans as they salvage this final game. They win it 1-0. And happiness all around. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.